Marco Dominic Gonzalez, July 6, 2014, 08:59 a.m. I watched the George this week, and I watched the Meet the Press with David Gregory. I've been doing that for a very long time, since last year, maybe June or April when I started. And I run my mouth. I made a lot of videos. And when I was saying on the Meet the Press, David was talking to Jed Johnson, because he's the Homeland Security, the head of Homeland Security now. Uh, so I'm interested in, okay, Janet, what is the okay? Something's not right. In 2010, folks, I did it again. Someone's coming into my room all the time, especially in 2009, 2000 now, but especially 2009, 2010, 2011, man. But I had written a lot of pages, and I was going to put that on my computer. I think my computer then ended up going down or something like that. There was a big fire in Arizona at the same time. So whenever there was a huge fire in Arizona, and there was also a board. They were talking about the border and stuff like that. And I had wrote a long thing, uh, in a way like the dissents that Stephen Breyer does. I do that naturally. And what I said is, in order to protect the border, because if you look, because I was looking at what is their budget, dude? It's billions of dollars. I'm like, oh my gosh. Then there has to be a mismanagement of funds, because I went on to the actual budget for the Border Patrol, and it doesn't say exactly where the money goes. But then I'm saying, okay, and I told this conversation to my father, because I didn't have the computer to type it up or something like that. And you do exactly like what you see on Gomer Pyle, what you see when you go to Marine combat training. It's quants and huts. Now they have cots in the Marine combat training on Camp Pendleton, but it's like the Gomer Pyle. You got a bunk, you got a quants and hut, you got an air conditioner. You'll live out there in the desert. It's like a duty station, maybe 6 months or 9 months. I know the Marines not gonna like it, but guess what? That's how you prevent. And I even had an acronym. I don't know what I called it. But I said this whole conversation to my dad. I said it's a good use of money, because it does prevent anybody from crossing. Because it's a deterrent. I mean, if Marines are out there in quads and huts like Gomer Pyle there, and they're like, I'm not going there exactly. And when I told my dad, he said that's a good idea. I remember, but I never saw a news show on doing it. So, but I know the government intrusion comes in and reads all my stuff. So I want to know, and Jed. So this would be my question to Jed. Jed, do you know anything about that? Talk to Janet. Did anybody read what I said, and what did they say about it? My dad said it was a great idea, and I said, well, that's how you would prevent it, and it's a good use of money. So when last week when I was watching this week, I think it was Bill Crystal is with George on that show, and he was talking about, if you talk to any enlisted man, they'll say, now you have to have enlisted men there for 100 years. This is what's coming out of his mouth. Now, that needs to be discussed further, obviously. That's his comment, but that's a different situation. But again, if you were to do that, you would have to do it in the way that I'm saying, for I want to call it the Gomer Pyle way. Quantum huts, they get a bunk, you put an air conditioner in there, and they're basically living there. And it's in the news, it's not that you're occupying, it's not that you're invading, it's that you're the security force. And then to be able to have libo and liberty to where, once that shopkeeper gets money and says, wow, man, that Marine is buying a beer, that Marine's buying some, I don't know, some scarf or something like that, they're going to want the Marines there. They're going to want the Army guys there. They're going to say, you know what, this is capitalism. Absolutely, it's capitalism. But again, this is off the cuff. I'm talking off the cuff. I have to also, it would be the same though. It would work actually, but I could go into more detail. Obviously, my mind's racing.